Another Nebraska winter is hopefully behind us, and now we're gearing up for spring and warmer weather. Because spring is the time of year that people start to landscape and plant trees, one of the most important things to remember is steering clear of LES power lines and other structures. When it comes to reliable electricity, LES's track record is one of the best in the country. One of the ways the utility keeps the power on is by decreasing the risk of a major contributor to outages, tree branches. And here to help us understand the LES Vegetation Management Program is Shana Sprackling. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Mary Jane.
Tell me a little about the LES Vegetation Management Program. What's the main purpose?
Well, the main goal of our Vegetation Management Program is LES currently has about 300 miles of high voltage transmission lines. To maintain a reliable electric transmission system, LES patrols these corridors by being proactive and strategically managing vegetation-related issues. This will help minimize encroachments from vegetation and danger trees, thus preventing the risk of vegetation-related outages that could lead to cascading. Cascading is an issue where we have an isolated outage because of the damage done. It creates more load for other infrastructure, and therefore it creates a cascading effect, creating more outages.
So you talked about encroachments. What kind of situations lead to customers encroaching on LES's transmission lines and poles?
Well, LES patrols these lines in the spring and in the fall to identify safety hazards, line maintenance needs, obstructions, and encroachments. This would include vegetation, permanent structures, swimming pools, lagoons, ponds, grade changes, billboards, anything that can create a safety risk, including hay bales, large equipment, combustible materials, or anything that may endanger or impede our access or interfere with LES's operations.
What questions do you get most often from customers?
Well, I wish we received more. A lot of times we find our encroachments or obstructions after the fact. We are trying to increase our public awareness by providing more information on our high voltage power lines, including annual mailings, postcards. But a lot of people move in and out of these particular properties. They're not aware of the use restrictions, and if we do get contacted, it's usually because they want to know how wide is the corridor, what are the use restrictions, or they've been made aware that you better contact LES before you place anything in here due to the high voltage.
So if you have a question, ask.
Yes.
Okay. What rules and regulations give LES the right to manage the areas around transmission lines and poles?
Well, you need to think of the transmission corridors as kind of a highway. And what this does is these corridors provide transmission of electricity across multiple tracts of ground or land known as a right-of-way. These corridors connect the high voltage power grid and are subject to transmission right-of-way easements. Items and activities within those LES transmission corridors are restricted, and they're restricted to ensure public safety, maintain reliability, and provide ready access for LES crews or our contractors.
That makes sense. At the end of the day, is that your main goal, is just to keep power safe and reliable?
You know, our core values are safety and reliability. It's all about public safety, being aware of where you are working in conjunction with those lines, always to look around, and most importantly, to always look up.
Look up and ask questions.
Yep.
Thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you.